David Rantisi here from Wake Up It's Football with SB Nation, recapping your Week 13 matchup between the Minnesota Vikings and the Green Bay Packers. It was a tough day on defense for the Packers. Ultimately, they did edge out the Vikings 23-14. Adrian Peterson was yet again a monster. Hard to stop, but Aaron Rodgers in the pass game looking great on his birthday. I thought that he did pretty well. So a couple of inactives before the game had started. You had Clay Matthews for the Green Bay Packers and Percy Harvin for the Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings won the toss, elected to give the ball to the Packers right away, and that was a mistake. Aaron Rodgers and company drove down the field. Couple of great Alex Green runs, kept the chains moving, and then you had a free play. Aaron Rodgers drew the defense off sides. It tossed it up to James Jones for a touchdown. It was a beautiful touchdown. James Jones took it away from the defender. So the Packers went up 7-0. Again, the Packers are driving down the field, but a holding call on, I believe it was TJ Lang, called back another touchdown pass to James Jones. So the Packers elected to or had to go for a field goal on that drive, which put them up 10-0. Now, in the second quarter, this was, I believe, the only quarter that the Vikings controlled throughout the game. You had Kyle Rudolph on a 7-yard touchdown pass from Christian Ponder. This was after a long 14-play drive, 7 runs by Adrian Peterson that kept the chains moving, and just a bunch of dinks and dunks to Kyle Rudolph on that drive really sums that drive up. And then 7 yards to him in the end zone. Packers still up 10-7. And then you had Adrian Peterson crack off an 82-yard run late in the second quarter. And it was due to awful tackling by the Packers defenders. They could not, get him down, and they had opportunities of pushing him out of bounds, but they did not, and he just kept going for 82. So they were the Vikings were up 14-10 on the Packers at half. But the Packers did come back out in the second half, and they were ready to go. You had Mason Crosby about mid third quarter kick a 47-yard field goal, which had the game even closer, 14-13. But then it was beautiful by James Starks. We haven't seen this all season. He cracked off a 22-yard run. I believe might have been the last play of the third quarter. 22-yard run, bounced it to the outside, and he was in for the score. So that put the Packers up 20-14. In the fourth quarter, again, late in the fourth quarter, Mason Crosby pretty much, you can say, ended the game for the Vikings. Another field goal, 23-14. The Vikings tried to fight back. They could not do it. And I must add that Morgan Burnett had 2 crucial interceptions in that game. Overall, I believe it was a great performance from the Packers, except tackling. Tackling definitely needs to be worked on, but you can't really fault them 100%. They are going up against one of the best backs, if not the best back in the league, in Adrian Peterson. But I mean, there's no excuse for him to rush over 200 yards. But the Vikings did beat us, or the Vikings did beat the Packers in the run game. The Packers did beat the Vikings in the pass game. Overall, it was a great effort by the Packers today, and they go up in the division 8-4. I believe the Bears had just lost against the Seahawks, meaning the Packers are on top of the division, even though they are at 8-4 apiece. The Packers right now own the tiebreaker. The Vikings, unfortunately for the Vikings, they fall 6-6. But their playoff hopes, I believe, are still alive. Just slim right now to win a division title. They'd have to get in as a wild card. So next week, I believe the Packers will be playing, I want to say they're playing Detroit. They kept that game close earlier this year, but we'll see how that goes. Another video for another recap. But again, great win for the Green Bay Packers, which pushes them to 8-4. David Rantisi here from Wake Up It's Football and with SB Nation.